Okay, so UPVC front door, and the problem I have is when you open the handle like this, that only goes in partially, as you can see. Which means it's catching against there and not opening properly. So, what I've done is bought a new gear mechanism, which I'll show you in a moment. But what you need to do on this is undo these knots first of all, and take this handle off. That one is, it's difficult doing this one hand, but that one is being held at the back. Okay, so we've removed both of the screws from the inside. The next thing you need to do is remove this lock here. So if you look down here, you should find this screw, which is about there, middle of the lock. And if you take that out, what you'll find is that the centre thumb block will come out. This is a retaining nut, so that just comes out. And then this, you may have to level this up a little bit, but this then should, fiddle with it, come straight out. The reason why you have to fiddle with it is because that thing in the middle there sometimes spins like that and it can get caught. So anyway, that's that off. Okay, so what you can do now is you can remove this handle here, and you can remove the other handle from there, like that. Okay, so when it's all removed, front and back, you're now looking at removing this main strip in order to get to the gear mechanism which operates this, which, as you can see, is totally broke. So what you're going to do is we're going to remove screws, 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 all the way down, right to the bottom, and I'll come back when that's done. Okay, so when all the screws are removed, and there's quite a number of them, so make sure you get them all out. You literally just gently tease this out. There you go. And it's dropped out. Nothing else holding this. Just be mindful and careful when you pull it out. Now, what we can do now is replace this broken gear mechanism, and I'll show you how. Right, so there's the new gear mechanism, and you have to make sure that you get the dimensions absolutely, because they do vary. So whatever website you buy it from, there will be measurements on there, and you have to make sure that they line up, that the distances are the same from there to there, that the overall lock size from there to there is the same, and the thickness is the same, and also the holes there line up, which you can just about see right the way through. So it's important they line up as well. So what you need to do is, I think these are star screws, so you need to remove that one, that one, that one, that one, and the lock will just come off, and you put that one back on and put the star screws back in. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so we're taking the first screw out. There. And it's one of these screwdrivers. I think they're star screwdrivers. They've got that kind of shaped head. Anyway, so that's one, And it's difficult doing this one-handed, but there's two, and there's three, and finally the last one. Now when those are off, what happens is you can literally just lift this off, there like that. Okay, so I've put the new lock on now, and as you can see, the old lock, my apologies, the old lock, when you pressed it in, literally only went to there. The new lock goes all the way in. As you can see, it goes all the way in. So that's going to stop the door now from catching and being unable to open, as was the case with this one. So every time you turn the handle, it just stopped. So best repair it before you have any other major problems, because otherwise you're going to be calling a locksmith out if that seizes when the hooks are out. There's every possibility that it will be seized completely. So this cost about £18. The whole mechanisms usually cost a lot more. So not all of them can be changed, I have to say, but luckily this one can. Just look if it's got the screws. If they're welded or pop riveted, then you're not going to be able to replace it. Sadly, you're going to have to replace the whole unit. But like I say, shop around. This was about £18. I could have got it a little bit cheaper, but just this one matched everything of the pictures to the one I just fetched off, so I decided to buy this one. So yeah, so the process of putting it back on is totally reversible, and I'll show you that at the end. Right, so all of the screws are nearly back in, apart from the last one, and there are plenty of these, so make sure you fetch them all out and make sure you put them all back. But this is the last one to go in. It just screws in, make sure they're tight, so they're all in, it's all tight. The new lock mechanism fits perfectly, and all I've got to do now is first of all put the handle and lock back on this side, and I'll show you that in a moment. Don't make the mistake of which I've done a few times, I'll show you in a moment. Okay, so what I was going to say, and this is difficult doing this one-handed, but what I've done in the past is put the lock on there, and it doesn't matter unless you've got a thumb lock. I put that on there and screwed the handles in, then try to get this back in. So what you really need to do beforehand is fit that into there, like that, and then you can push, and it is a bit fiddly, but you can then push this through into there, and it comes out the other side. Just a tip really, just in case you have one of these thumb locks. If you don't have a thumb lock, it doesn't matter. Okay, so when you've got to that stage, the next thing is to put the screw that holds the Euro lock back in place. And what I've found, and it's difficult to do this, but put some pressure on the lock and then just move the Euro lock in and out. I can't do this one-handed, but in and out like that as you're pushing the lock, and you'll feel it locating the hole, and then you just have to screw it in. Okay, so when you've put the screw back in the Euro lock, which is that one there, to secure this so it doesn't rattle around, you've put the bolts back in, or the screws back in to hold the handle tight, check that it works, and what we hope now is that it absolutely shuts without problem. And there you go, tight, fixed, and it opens lovely, and it shuts. And check the lock. Yep, absolutely fine. Job well done. That's it. It's as simple as that for £18, a little bit of labour, and it goes all the way in again now. Saved me a lot of hassle and headaches down the road. That's it. Thank you for watching.